A quote you cited about Elon really stood out to me. I forget who it's from, but inside the man, he's still there as a child, the child standing in front of his dad.
That was Talulah, his second wife, and she's great. She's an English actress. They've been married twice, actually. And Talulah said that's just him from his childhood. He's a drama addict. Kimball says that as well. And I asked why, and Talulah said, for him, love and family are kind of associated with those psychological torments. And in many ways, he'll channel. I mean, Talulah would be with him in 2008 when the company was going back, or whatever it may have been, or later. And he would be so stressed he would vomit. And then he would channel things that his father had said, use phrases his father had said to him. And so she told me, deep inside the man is this man-child still standing in front of his father.
To what degree is that true for many of us, do you think?
I think it's true, but in many different ways. I'll say something personal, which is I was blessed, and perhaps it's a bit of a downside too, with the fact that I had the greatest father you could ever imagine, and mother. They were the kindest people you'd ever want to meet. I grew up in a magical place in New Orleans. My dad was an engineer, an electrical engineer, and, he was always kind. Perhaps I'm not quite as driven or as crazed. I don't have to prove things. So I get to write about Elon Musk. I get to write about, Einstein or Steve Jobs or Leonardo da Vinci, who, as you know, was totally torn by demons and had different difficult childhood situations, not even legitimized by his father. So sometimes those of us who are lucky enough to have really gentle, sweet childhoods, we grow up with fewer demons, but we grow up with fewer drives, and we end up maybe being Boswell and not being Dr. Johnson. We end up being the observer, not being the doer. And so I always respect those who are in the arena. I don't,
You don't see yourself as a man in the arena.
I've had a gentle, sweet career, and I've got to cover really interesting people. But I've never shot off a rocket that might someday get to Mars. I've never moved us into the era of electric vehicles. I've never stayed up all night on the factory floor. I don't have quite those, either the drives or the addiction to risk. I mean, Elon's addicted to risk. He's addicted to adventure. Me, if I see something that's risky, I spend some time calculating, okay, upside, downside here. But that's another reason that people like Elon Musk get stuff done, and people like me write about the Elon Musks.